doing waypoints today. I'm just taking off from my little landing pad here. It's a bit windy today, winds at about 30 kilometers an hour or 20 miles per hour. Okay, we're just taking off. Okay, to your left here there's a kind of wibbly line or snaky line. You just select that and that will bring up the waypoints. There's a star at the bottom there when you're selecting your camera position or the drone's position, and every time you move the drone to face a particular position you want to film with or take a picture with, you just select the star again, and then you just move to the next waypoint and vice versa. Flying a couple of 100 meters along here. So waypoint settings here, we got the global speed. I'm adjusting it to about 20 kilometers an hour. You can go up to 12 meters a second or 43 kilometers an hour on there, the maximum speed they can get there. Here you got the return to home, when you lose the signal, and what happens at the end of the flight. I've set it to return back to the start. So you got select the camera settings to either the 1 or 3x camera settings. The other 3 to 9 is digital zoom. Okay, we've completed our flights, all the waypoints. So we just select the waypoint list and we select the speed and vice versa of what we want to do during the waypoints. So select 12 meters per second. Now the drone is heading to the start point. This is much smoother, kind of less sudden movement, which is sometimes a bit difficult to do when doing it handheld. If for any reason you had to stop the flight, you have the pause button on the controller. There's also the red pause button on the screen. So if you pause that, that will pause the drone. So when the drone is being paused, the drone will come to a halt. Just press the green button to start the flight again. Once the flight is started again, the drone will back to the position just before you stopped or press the pause button, and we'll go from there. So the advantage of doing waypoints is that it gives a more smooth flight than you would if you're doing it manually. It just gives that kind of less sudden movements, especially when going in around. So the battery is running low here. I cancelled the return to home because the starting point of the waypoints is above where my H home point. So it just finished there and end the flight. And now I can save the waypoints if I want to possibly use it again, and for next time we fly, possibly. So I'm bringing my drone onto the mat with the H there. I had some issue landing it because I couldn't get the mat to be flat enough to allow the drone to land. It just, every time I tried to land it, I'm not sure if it was a bit of the wind as well, but it just couldn't get it to seem to land. So I tried a few times, but now I think out of 3 times that 3 flights, I could only get it to land once. So I had to resort to hand catching. So here, if you want to make up a waypoint later or when you're not actually flying, you can actually go and do that by going to the camera picture view, then selecting the map option, select the waypoints, go to your map, go to where you want to go. I'm in England, so I just move the scroll inwards just like you would it on your phone, and select if you know the location. Where here, and then you select the waypoints just by clicking on the actual map like that. Probably it's easier when you're actually there and you can select the waypoints, but you can do it as here I'm showing you if you're not have the actual drone off and you want to do something later. Then I can adjust things, then select the save option. I can select the save the waypoint. So if you want to give it the waypoint a name, it's a bit tricky with my finger, it's often a little bit tricky, but you just have to select, then you get the thing and you can give the actual suitable name for it. I'm going to put test in this case, and then save, and then you just press the exit. It will come up with save again or something when you try to go off the waypoint map here, and just save without exit. It will disappear, but it's still there. If you look here, it will be saved if you saved it. So you can see its test is just 3 down. So you can also delete any if you got too many saves as well. You can also alter previous saved files that when you're off, when your drone's off, by just clicking your save options. Just scroll to which one you want to use, and again just tap the map, select the, you can see here it will show where you had a flight. In this case I want to alter perhaps one of these selected waypoints, just quite a few listed here, and I can select a previously saved waypoint, and it's basically just alter, change, delete anything, and save again, and for another flight. You can see here no problems. I'll just exit without saving and just carry on another day. So if we go again, you can do POIs. You go to camera view and we select the map again. Just go in, zoom in. So we just zoom in this last bit, and then you just select the waypoints again. I think that's tapped on the thing. Just change to satellites first, and then we go to waypoints. Click on there, then go to POI, then select the options. Now this POI is basically the drone will try and move around that focus point when you select the waypoints around it, which I'll show here, and that will be the point of interest. Obviously it's best doing this when the drone's on, so you can get, obviously it's a bit difficult to show here, but maybe at a future day I'll show how it can give very good shots, better than I could do manually if it's done correctly, but I'll show that maybe at a later date, or maybe with something of interest better than I can show here. Just save it, POI one, and then we can go back to the exit out of waypoints, and then you can go back to another day. So we're doing now a flight at Arundel. We're going to use waypoints again. This is I think this is like a day or two after that particular flight near Ferring and between Ferring and Goring. So it's still quite a windy day, certainly higher up, between 30 and 50 km/h winds, or 20 to 30 mile an hour, about 100 meters up at least. So just have a quick check here of my systems, just check everything's okay. Brake is on, and I just check the speed, normal mode, set the speed to 15 meters per second in horizontal and normal mode, and then that just gives a little bit quicker when setting up the waypoints. And we go to the next point. So here we just come up towards the castle. Strong wind warning, so we fly around here. I'm just looking so I can get a rough position of where the tree line is. Just move a bit closer. We're actually still quite another 100 meters from the road there, or maybe more, so it's kind of a bit difficult to get the exact position. I tried to check my position. Here you can actually see with what those bubble eyes on the side of the drone sees. You can see the propeller there, but I want to see the map. There's a little symbol on the bottom there, and that allows you to get the map, and then you can use. It's not satellite map, so you kind of not the most effective for trying to get you at my position of the drone. So I'm kind of getting a rough view of what my waypoints look like. Doing a backwards fly here, getting back to the home point, about 100 meters up, the castle in the distance. So just bring in the final waypoint. So just go into the start, and we end our flights and press go. So it'll go back to the start when finishing the flight. Loss of connection will be in the return to home. There shouldn't be any reason for that either. So now I've set the flight, and off we go. So for some reason, even though I didn't actually go higher than about 104 meters during the flight, the drone is trying to go above 120 meters, and since the default set it at 120, it can't be exceeded with the waypoints. Don't know why that is. It just seemed to. I tried to do it again. I even tried clearing some of the waypoints, but whatever, it just kept on trying to go above 120 meters. So I had to end the flight using waypoints, which is a bit took a long time to set up, but I had to try somewhere else instead. So our next location is Amberley Castle. We're just going to fly around near the castle and over the lake here that's formed. It's not normally that flooded, but it's quite full at winter time. So just check back to start when finished. Signal lost if return to home, and 30 km/h, 20 mile an hour. It is a bit windy at altitude. You've got to see the bonfire going there. Somebody's making a bonfire, clearing some bushes or something like that. So the drone's starting now, and I press go, and drone starts. Just to be aware of like that tree just going past there. Just to be aware that not to make any waypoints at low level behind any trees, because that means that it may try and fly into the tree, trying to get from one waypoint to another, so just to be aware of that. So you can zoom in and out digitally with the during the flight. You can also stop or start the video as well. Certain functions you can't do when you're actually using the waypoints, and you also have the pause button if you need to in emergency. Obviously keep an eye for low flying vehicles, that although they're not very common, there's always a possibility of those. Sometimes a few odd birds flying around, but they're just usually not a problem. So it's quite smooth using the waypoints, and we complete the 3,000 meters in about 6 minutes. So it's a nice smooth flight. I'm at Ardingly Reservoir here, doing another flight. Done all the waypoints, and we're about to start another flight here. Movement speed is 12 meters per second. Back to the start when finished, and all the other things. You can also, when you're doing particular waypoints, if there's something particularly in the waypoint you want to do, you can use the POI to make particular camera movements around during your waypoints. So I'll just set the camera so I can, the map, so I can see, keep an eye on where I am as I'm flying and what the waypoint look like. So you can see it's quite smooth. There's a bit of interference because the drone's gone behind some trees there. It's come out now and it's come back towards me. So it's another example of how the waypoints work. And now when it's finished, it goes to the starting point of the waypoints. A bit more practice, it might be quite useful, especially for landscapes, I think. But that's how the waypoint function works on the Air 3.